Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I'm Eric. Six Flags is an amusement park chain mostly known for its big, fun, thrilling rides and abundant collections of classic rides that are not very well themed. However, there is one dark ride at Six Flags that truly rivals some of the best dark rides Disney has put out. Before I review this dark ride, please subscribe to the channel for more coaster content. So what dark ride am I talking about? Well, you saw the thumbnail and the title. However, this review is actually of Justice League Battle for Metropolis. Without a doubt, the greatest shooting ride in the world. I'm just kidding. This is about Monster Mansion at Six Flags over Georgia. I should quickly note, actually, I do like Justice League as a ride, but Monster Mansion, being in the same park as one of the Justice League clones, is far superior. In this video, I will discuss what makes this ride so good as a dark ride from both a technical standpoint and just a fun ride standpoint. I will draw very few comparisons to other dark rides, even though I mentioned this is rivaling Disney's best. I really just want this to be a solo review of Monster Mansion, but I will at the end compare it to some other similar rides. Let's talk about the ride now. First of all, for those who do not know, spoilers for what the ride offers in this point, and there will be a POV playing throughout, but Monster Mansion is about you going to a large mansion. This ride used to be called Monster Plantation, so it was a plantation. That was changed though. You're on a boat. You go to a party. There are plenty of monsters having fun at this mansion, but near the beginning of the ride you are told to stay out of the marsh. Presumably there are some evil monsters there. And sure enough, when you make a wrong turn, you end up in the marsh. There are much scarier monsters, and at the very end of the ride, one of the monsters that is good blasts the other ones with dynamite, and you escape free. Then there's a song playing at the end that they show some lyrics to, and then honestly in the story there's a very confusing ending where you go through a dark foreboding cave, which kind of implies that things did not end so happily. I was a bit confused by that, but you know what? The story is loose, so I don't care too much. Let's talk technical presentation. First of all, the queue and the facade. The queue itself is just switchbacks. Nothing too special. You have some screens playing stuff that are Looney Tunes clips, not really any theming in the queue, but you know what? It's not a huge deal for me. I don't think queue theming is really that important for a ride. And then you actually walk over the main boat path to get to the loading dock, which I thought was quite cool. There are a few statues of monsters, very basic on the outside of it, and the plantation facade itself looks really nice. I like the appearance quite a bit, and even though it seems kind of weird in the Six Flags Over Georgia area, surrounding it there's not a whole lot going on, it looks quite nice. It's smaller than other attractions nearby, which means it's kind of overshadowed and doesn't get huge lines. However, the line I waited in did take a little while due to the fact that they were not loading all of the boats to nearly full capacity. These boats can fit 7, 8 people to each, and I saw mainly 4 or 3 people in each boat. But once you're on the ride, it's very fun, and I will talk about inside and the technical presentation. There are some things that are obviously cheaper than, say, a Disney dark ride. They don't go all out on immersion, and it's more about just having nice theming and aesthetics. But you know, you can see the lighting and the ceiling very easily when you looked up. It's not a themed ceiling. And most of the animatronics have very limited movements. However, in terms of creativity, it more than makes up for what's lacking in impressive technology, because every monster design is memorable and looks really cool. The marsh monsters are actually really cool and scary looking, and the nicer monsters have some very wacky designs, very diverse, all sorts of different colors, shapes, sizes, all of that, and I enjoy that quite a bit. And the other thing about the technical presentation is the ride system. It is a very simple boat ride. I compare it most to Pirates of the Caribbean in a smaller boat, there is a very small drop on this ride, which I do think kind of connects it to Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's actually even smaller than the one on that ride. But the big thing is that there is this very interesting effect that is quite similar to Pirates. I recall on Pirates there is a sort of smoke screen where steam is starting to spray in front of you and a projection of Davy Jones or a different pirate is shown. They do that here. It shows a scary monster face and it's really cool. In terms of lighting, they absolutely nailed this Monster Mansion ride. The lighting in the marsh is really smart, as only at certain times can you see monsters, otherwise it's completely pitch black, which is a few small glowing areas. And it's really well done. I think all of the sets look nice, the monsters look great, and even with a lack of music, the energy the ride gives off is really, really good. And that takes me to really what is most important on a dark ride for me: fun. No matter how impressive the technology, I've always considered having fun on a dark ride much more important. And it takes a lot for me to say, well, the animatronics were good enough to redeem a mediocre ride. A good example is Empire of the Penguin at SeaWorld Orlando, a trackless ride system, cool for sure, but the ride itself was kind of bland and not all that fun, so I could not give it a pass even with the strong ride system. And then you have Frozen Ever After. You know, that is great animatronics and all, but I just don't like Frozen Ever After. I just don't think it's very fun at all. But that's just me not liking Frozen, so do with that information what you wish. But moving back to Monster Mansion, this ride is not the most impressive, but it has absolutely amazing energy. The only thing I knew going in was that it was a boat ride, and everyone telling me it was super weird. I don't think it's quite as weird as some said. It's very loose in story, which has something to do with it, but it's not like trippy or anything. It is just a lot of monster animatronics going around dancing and doing all these different crazy things. And though it has a lot of quirkiness to it, it's not like weird. That said, this ride is super fun. The happy monster parts are really enjoyable. You can't help but smile, kind of dance along to the music, enjoy certain parts of it. All of the different designs are really wacky and fun, and I enjoy this sort of first half of the ride. But the second half in the marsh was incredible. I think it's actually really well done, the horror elements, where I truly felt a little bit scared going through pitch black waiting to see what other monster would pop up next. It's not like going through a haunt and being horrified of the most realistic looking horror monster ever, but it's incredibly well done. And I think the idea that they actually really rope you into this story is quite impressive. Overall, this ride is so much fun. As far as Six Flags dark rides go, you don't get better than that. And I think it's better than most of the roller coasters at Six Flags Over Georgia. I'm one who much prefers roller coasters at dark rides, but I do feel that this is definitely above a lot of the roller coasters there. In terms of Disney dark rides, I think I prefer this to Pirates of the Caribbean. I will admit that there are more impressive effects on Pirates of the Caribbean, but I had much more fun on this one, and that's really what it's all about for me. This is one of the most fun dark rides I've ever been on, and it's just sitting in a boat watching some monsters have a good time and then being in a scary marsh. But it's quite an interesting one, has a great history, and I really hope this one stays around for years to come. I would say if you go to Over Georgia, this should absolutely be in your top 3 rides to get on there if you can only do 3. It's seriously one of the best. And those are my thoughts on Monster Mansion. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed this video. Keep in mind that I understand some people think it's crazy that this is compared to any Disney rides, but I just personally think it's a really fun one. I'm not trying to undermine Disney in any way in this video. Like the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel for more coaster content and other videos about dark rides like this one. I'll see you next time.